Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Fleur, and in today's half hour of yin and meditation, we're going to go a little bit into the hips. So, what I would suggest is having some props ready, as always, maybe some blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can use books and then maybe roll a pillow around it or have a cushion or a towel so that it's not so hard. And let's just start with tuning in first of all, just having a little moment of taking just a natural seat for you and closing the eyes. And just as you are, just check in with your body and feel if there's any tension anywhere, if the breath is moving smoothly or if it feels a bit light or heavy, if you feel the breath is going deep or shallow. If any parts of your body are feeling tired or awake, light or heavy. And notice if any thoughts of judgment come in, or trying to justify or explain to yourself. And gently allow those thoughts to move away and just continue taking a little scan of yourself, a little check in. Because this is what you're bringing now to the practice, this is what you're working with, and there is no right way to practice. And the beauty of yoga, the beauty of the practice is that we can always practice with what is. Meaning that, if we're feeling tired or a little bit weak or emotional, we might not want to do a strong yang class. And if we're feeling a bit sluggish or we feel like, oh, we actually need to have a little bit of energy, we might need to do a little bit of a yang class, a little bit more movement than a yin. So here we are in a yin class, so make sure that your energy is the right type for today, because otherwise you will just feel even more tired. But I'll move in between a little bit with you just to even it out. So continue just taking a few deep breaths. Let's ease the breath a little bit out. So feel the breath move in through your nose. And as you exhale, if you like, you can sigh it out. And again, breathing in through the nose. Giving yourself that little bit of energy into the body and exhaling. Just again, softening. And one more time, deep breath in. Hold it at the top. And then take a tiny little zip of air more and hold a little bit longer. And then all the air out. And let's do that 2 more times. Breath in deeply. Hold it. And then a little bit more, a little zip more. And exhaling all the air out. Completely exhaling. And last time, breath in. And a little zip more. Just that fraction. And exhaling, release. And that might have made you a little bit more alert. And then let's do the reverse. So from here, just breathing in normally, naturally. And imagining all the air is being breathed out, breathe it out. And then hold it for a moment. Draw your chin to the chest. Pull your belly slightly in. And then inhale, let the belly fill up again with breath. Release the chin, sit nice and tall. Imagine all the breath is coming back into your body. And again, all the air out. Drawing the ribs together, drawing the belly in. And then draw the chin to the chest. Imagine it's a little lock of this vacuum in your body. Hold it there for a moment. And then all the air softens back into the belly. Uncurl the spine. Imagine you're getting this release again in the body. And one more time, breathing all the air out. And then drawing the chin to the chest. Draw the navel slightly in. Hold it for as long as it feels interesting. And when you feel that the body wants to breathe in again, just relax and breathe in. And exhaling again normally, and just come back to your own breath rhythm. And just notice how this little pranayama has affected you, how you feel in the body now, things that have shifted, things that have changed. And let's come from here into first a little bit movement, a little bit of movement. So just bringing your legs out in front of you and have them a little bit wider than your mat and your hands behind you. And then gently just moving your knees from one side to the other. So a little warm up before we come into a pose, little movement. So moving the knees side to side with your hands behind you. And then just come to one side. So you're sitting in a sort of S shape with your legs, with your knees at a right angle to your thighs, so your shins at a right angle to side, and then bring your hand onto the hip that's so slightly lifted, and just feel if there's a little movement available. So just a little rocking motion forward and back. And again, just very gently so that you're not feeling tension or pressure. And just notice how this feels in your hip. So this is an inward rotation of your femur, so the thigh bone. Good, and then take a little lean forward over the front leg. And again, notice how this feels now. And we'll go back to there in the end. And just maybe one more little release, not, trying to stay there, just feeling how this feels now. And then let's come to the other side, moving over. And then again, feeling here, hand onto your hip, and just a little rocking motion. Forward and back, forward and back. Just to see how this feels. And then bring your hands in front of your front leg. And then again, as you exhale, just fold forward. And just check how this side feels and just a little softening. So it's not about, stretching just yet. It's more about just checking in with yourself. Okay, and from here I'm going to come into our first pose, which is actually quite an intense pose. So I would suggest having some pillows or books ready. How we get into it is we're going to come into a tabletop position and then crossing our right leg over our left, squeezing the thighs together and moving the feet out to the side. If you have knee issues, you can do this pose also on your back and then just pulling your legs towards you. So a little bit gentler. So with the legs crossed, and then you can hold your ankles and just think of drawing them down. Maybe someone's even putting a little towel underneath your lower back so that the knees come a little higher, and you can just hold it here. If you're comfortable with the knees, see if you can then bring your hands back, walk back, and sit in between your legs. Now, if you notice that your right hip, if your right leg is forward, right hip is up, bring something underneath the hips. So you sit a little higher. And if this is too intense for the knees, you can also stretch your left leg away from you, maybe with a bit of support under the knee, so maybe a rolled up towel. And once you're settled, once you feel like, okay, I am in a position where I can stay, I'm going to place something under my knees just to make it not so intense. So there's times when I can go fully down in this pose, cow face, and there's other times where days like today where I'm like, you know what, I'm going to place something underneath my hips, and then when I feel it's a bit released, I can remove them. Now we're going to go into the arms. You can either bring let me just do this right, your left arm under the right. So if your right leg is on top, your right arm is on top, and bring the arms into this position. So eagle arms, lifting your elbows high and then moving your hands away from the face, squeezing the shoulders together and rolling the shoulders down. This should feel like a nice stretch in the back of your shoulders, or you can come to full cow pose. So with your right arm on top, I always have to think about this, and left arm behind you. You see I'm using a belt. You can use a towel or just your t-shirt, and then holding this position. If you can reach the fingers, you can also do it like this, or hold your elbow. We're not staying for too long, just about enough time to settle into this. So start to close your eyes and then check what your breath is doing. Always a good indicator. And then I'll leave you in this silence while I mind the time. And let's begin. Settle into this pose. If you need to shift, you can. Feeling the sensations. Try to release any strain, any drama. Ten more deep breaths. And last one. Well done. Exhaling. If you had the arms, just release them down. Good. And now to come out, just walk your hands slowly forwards. If you're lying on your back, you can uncross the legs and take a little break, maybe just letting the legs be long. And then from here, just take a little wriggle through your hips. So maybe a gentle little rotation, little movement. So we went deep into the fascia there, into the fascia, so into the deeper tissues of the hips. These poses can sometimes be quite emotional. You might find that you're getting irritated or just frustrated with the feeling there. I sometimes get frustrated, and that's absolutely normal. So sometimes something is locked in there, and then finds that release as we stay in the pose. Okay, and then when you're ready, let's come to the other side. So you now have an idea of the amount of time. So remember to come into it slowly in a way that you feel is right for you. You don't have to go there straight away. Have any props ready. As you might have noticed, I changed. So I was sitting on blocks and then eventually my sensations decreased. So I could move my blocks away and sit on the floor. This is my tighter side. So this might need another bit of prepping. Yes, this side of today is a little bit like, oh, okay. And you can also change the arms. Again, you don't have to have them up. You can have them by the side. Good. And once you're settled, this side is quite tight today. All right, let's be gentler with this side then. So sometimes we have that feeling that when the other side, or when the side that feels to us more stuck, a little bit more intense in sensation, we get judgmental with ourselves, or we get quite irritated, or we sort of try to think this side now needs to, be the same as the first side or the second side. So if you notice these thoughts again, notice it, take the judgment out, and remember that you don't have to be even on both sides. You can have that compassion to the side which feels a little bit more stuck, so that actually it gives you more softness in the body. And then if you had the arms, start to go into there. And then again, leave you in this space of watching your breath. And let's begin. Settle in yourself. Relax the tension. Ten more breaths.